The Premier League kicks off this coming weekend, and today I'm going to give you my predictions for all of the 10 games in the upcoming weekend of Premier League action. By the way, I am in New York right now, and without further ado, let's begin. Oh, by the way, I am also sticking to the point structure I did for the championship predictions video last weekend, so 0 for no scorelines or outcomes correct, 1 point for right outcome, and 3 points for a correct scorelines. So without further ado, let's begin. And Liverpool have made some good signings. Liverpool have signed Florian Wirtz. I think he could be a crucial signing. And they have also signed Frimpong. He could also be good for them. Of course, I do have to address my condolences. Of course, again, rest in peace, Diogo Jota. He's going to be a huge miss for them. I did make a short, my most viewed video on YouTube, I made a short sending my condolences to him and, well, his family. Mostly, I feel like he could be a huge miss for Liverpool. And Bournemouth have held on to, Justin Kluivert and Semenyo. I think they might have lost Evan Nilsson, but they have held on to some crucial key players this season. I just think that squad of Liverpool's is just too strong. I'm wearing the Liverpool shirt right now. By the way, I think the Liverpool squad is just too strong, and I am going for a Liverpool win here. I think Arne Slot can get his men going. I'm going 3-1 Liverpool in game 1 here. And the next game up is Aston Villa against Newcastle. And both these sides I have put in, spoiler alert, I did make obviously my Premier League predictions video about 3 weeks ago. Spoiler alert, I did put both of these fighting for Champions League football this season, or at least European football. Newcastle and Villa, they both have had fairly quiet transfer windows, I think. Of course, I don't entirely think their squads need any refreshing. I think the squads they currently have are good enough. I don't know what's going on at Newcastle with Alexander Isak. There are rumours about potential move elsewhere, maybe to Liverpool, maybe somewhere else, but if they can hold on to him, I think he could be a strong hold on for them. Newcastle have signed Aaron Ramsdale from Southampton, so I don't know what to really expect from him this season. And I remember this game being on the opening game week in the 23-24 season. It was at Newcastle's ground, and Newcastle won 5-1 on that occasion. However, I don't really know where to go with this. Seeing as Villa are the home side, I think Villa can get a result here. You know what? Let's go for some more goals. Let's go 2-2, a 2-2 draw in game 2 here. And the next game up is Brighton against Fulham, and both these sides I have predicted to slightly drop down the table. I do fancy Brighton more this season. Fulham haven't really made many signings in the transfer window either. I think they've got some good players. They've got, Jimenez and who else? They've got, Smith Rowe. I don't know if they held on to Willian. Iwobi. They've got some good players, and I think the squad they've got is enough to survive. And then you've got Brighton, who've, I think they might have held on to Matoma, Minter, a few other good players. That being said, I I think this could be quite a cagey game with this one. I think both teams can score. I'm going for a 1-1 draw in this one. I think both teams will be happy to get a result over the line in game week 1 and push on from there. And the next game up is Sunderland against West Ham. And I am so stoked to see Sunderland back in the Premier League after about 8 seasons, I think now. The Stadium of Light is back, and I am buzzing. And again, spoiler alert, I did actually have Sunderland bottom of the Premier League table, but I am buzzing to see what they can do this weekend. I think, yeah, they've lost Joe Bellingham to Borussia Dortmund. He could be a big loss for them. Of course, for me, the huge signing for Sunderland is signing Invincible in the Bundesliga Granit Xhaka from Bayer Leverkusen. I am quite frankly amazed they've actually signed him. He could be a real benefit for them this season. And then West Ham, they have lost Kudos, but I think they've maintained a good enough squad. They've got Kyle Walker-Peters from Southampton. I think he could be quite the player for them. But that being said, I think the Sunderland fans are going to rock up to the Stadium of Light here, and I think they might actually get the win over the line here. You know what? You heard it here first. 2-1 Sunderland. Let's do it. Let's go for a Sunderland to start strong and get the win over the line. And then we move on to Tottenham against Burnley. And Tottenham, they didn't have a great season last season. They finished 17th in the league. This season, however, they did win the Europa League. Of course, they did miss out on signing Morgan Gibbs-White from Nottingham Forest, so he's a big miss for them. I do worry about stuff. They've lost Son Heung-min, of course, and James Maddison is also injured. Like, the squad looks a bit thin coming into this match. They have got new manager Thomas Frank. I think he's a good manager. He proved that at Brentford, keeping them up in the Prem. But I do fear for their, I fear their squad might be a bit thin. They've still got, like, Richarlison. I don't know if they've still got Timo Werner. They've got some good players in their squad. And Burnley on the other side. I mean, their defence in the Championship last season was incredible. They only conceded 16 goals in the whole 46-game season. However, I don't know what to expect from them this season. Of course, Burnley have signed Kyle Walker from Manchester City. He could be quite a beneficiary for them as well this season. With all that being said, it is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and for that reason, I'm going for a Spurs win and clean sheet. I'm going 2-0 Spurs on this one. I think the players they've currently got have enough to win this match. And then we've got Wolves against Manchester City. And yeah, Wolves, it's a tricky one. They've held on to Strand Larsen. I think he could be a good hold on for them. Of course, they did lose. Wolves have lost Mateus Cunha to Manchester United, so he could be a bit of a miss for them. I just feel like the squad might be a bit thin this season. And then we move on to Manchester City, who have got some good players. I do highly expect, like, Erling Haaland, Omar Mamouche to be banging in the goals once again this season. I think they could be that's 2 key players for them, their squad. Of course, they have just lost Kevin De Bruyne. He could be a big blow for them. Of course, Pep Guardiola staying there for another season, I think, is a big benefit for them here. And I think they can get this win over the line. I'm going to give Wolves a goal. I'm giving Wolves a goal, but I'm giving Man City 2. I'm going 2-1 City and an away win for the blue side of Manchester. And the next game up is Chelsea against Crystal Palace. And Chelsea, both these sides won trophies last season. Of course, Chelsea won the Club World Cup, and Crystal Palace obviously went on to win the FA Cup. Congratulations to them. Of course, Chelsea have signed some good players. They've signed Liam Delap from Ipswich, and as I mentioned before, they have also signed João Pedro from Brighton. I think they could be some good signings, and then you've got Cole Palmer staying. I think Nicholas Jackson was, he was linked with a move to Newcastle. I don't know if that's going to come in or not, but yeah, you've got them. Nkuku is still there. Like, their squad depth is incredible. Like, it's, if anything, it's too many players they've got in their squad, I think. But I think if they can gel, they'll have a good season here. And then Palace, obviously, they've got Mateta, currently got Gehi, Eze, and then you've got Esse, the other, with ESSE. I'm excited to see how he does in the Prem. Of course, Oliver Glasner is a good man. Eze, and then you've got Esse, the other, with ESSE. I'm excited to see how he does in the Prem. Of course, Oliver Glasner is a good manager as well. I think he could do well with them this season. And that being said, I think Chelsea do have enough to win this first match. I'm going 2-1 Chelsea on this one. I think they've just got enough to win it. And next up, we've got Nottingham Forest against Brentford. And Nottingham Forest, of course, they were fighting for Champions League football a long time. I think they're actually in the Europa League now. I think that's been confirmed that Palace will be playing Conference League football next season. Forest, as I mentioned before, they've held on to Morgan Gibbs-White. I think that is a crucial hold on for them. Of course, they've still got the aging Chris Wood. I think he could score a few goals this season, once again. And then they have lost Anthony Elanga to Newcastle, I think. So that could be a bit of a loss for them. But I think the squad they have, I think it is good here. And of course you've got Brentford, who have lost Brian Mbeumo to Manchester United. They have also signed Jordan Henderson. I feel like he could be quite a beneficiary for Brentford this season. They've brought in a new young manager, Keith Andrews. I don't know what to expect from him. And for those reasons, I just think Brentford might struggle this season. I don't see this being a corker. I think there could be one goal in it, and that's going to the home side. I'm going Forest 1-0 on this one. I think it could be quite a cagey match to start the season. And then we've got potentially the match of the weekend. It's Manchester United against Arsenal. And both these sides have really gone out in the transfer window and signed some good players. As I've said, Man United have signed Matheus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo. I think those are two good players. They've just signed Sesko as well, beat Newcastle to that bid. And then Arsenal have signed a striker finally in Victor Gyökeres. I feel like he could be potentially the missing piece of the puzzle. And then they've got some very key hold-ons: Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, Ben White, Odegaard, I think Martinelli, they've held on to all these crucial players, and I think their squad is just going to be a bit better this season. I am excited to see how Man United do, and I do think this season they will improve on their finishing position of 15th last season. However, I can see Arsenal winning this game. This is actually a hard game to predict, especially at the start of the season when you don't know how each side are performing. But I am going to go for an Arsenal win here. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. I think the squad is stronger, and it's tempting to say 2 or 3 goals. It's tempting to say 3, but I'm going 2-1 just because purely based on the fact I don't really know what to expect coming into this match. And then the final game of the week is Leeds against Everton. And yeah, I don't really know what to predict from this game either. Leeds, I don't expect they'll hold on to Daniel Farke for the season. I wonder how long he's got there, to be honest. I do think he might struggle to keep his job long term in the Prem. I think the Leeds board might already be looking to replace him. And then Everton, well, I mean, David Moyes, he's a safe pair of hands in a managerial role. I did highly predict Everton to have quite a strong rise up the table this season, mostly because of their new stadium. But this is at Elland Road, and I think, Everton, I think they have lost Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I don't think many Everton fans mind that. Of course, they have got some decent players in, but I don't know. I think, of course, and I do expect Everton to be stronger at home this season, as indeed with Leeds. I'm going to go with a draw on this one. I'm going 1-1. I don't know if there's any Leeds or Everton fans out there. Tell me, would you be happy with a 1-1 draw? Would you be happy with a draw to kick-start the season strongly? Because I think Everton are looking at signing Tyler Dibling from Southampton. He is quite a player, quite a young player, so he could be good for them. And there you have it, guys. All 10 Premier League matches for Game Week 1 wrapped up. And yes, that's it for me today. Let's see how well these matches turn out. And stay tuned for my Game Week 2 Championship predictions coming tomorrow, guys. So stay tuned for that. And as I said in the last video, I won't say it every time, but again, make sure to like and subscribe and tap the bell icon up there for notifications so you never miss a video. And yeah, we'll see how well these turn out to be. And also, I'm going to react in the same video to my championship predictions from last week tomorrow as well. So stay tuned for that. And without further ado, I'll see you later.